Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our installment of Scott Selections here for Thursday, June 3rd. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We picked up a loss with the Clippers, -6.5 at -117 on Bet Online. Got a good number. Line closed at around 7.5 or 8, and yet Clippers lost the game outright. Doncic took over. We thought that he would struggle with the shoulder-neck issue, and he did not. He had 42 points, carried the team, and the Clippers struggled offensively, so they once again find themselves in a pretty big hole in this series, but either way, we picked up a loss and look for a bounce-back winner here on Thursday. And for the play of the day, we're going to be looking at a matchup between the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers taking place at around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for the play of the day, we're going to be looking at a player prop. I thought about looking at the side or the total, but without knowing if Anthony Davis is actually going to play or not, I could not pull the trigger on it. But there is one player prop that I do like, and we're going to give that out instead. So the play of the day is going to be on Chris Paul under 14.5 points at -114 on Bet Online at time recording of 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like the under in the spot. First of all, as all of you know, Chris Paul has been injured throughout this entire series with a pretty bad shoulder injury. He hurt it earlier in the series, then looked pretty sharp for Game 4, and then he injured it in the second half of Game 5, which is why he only played 23 minutes in that game. Now, Paul's going to play. He already stated he's going to play. However, it seems like he's going to try to tough it out, and if you've looked at how he's performed with the shoulder issues, he hasn't really played that well. Now, looking at the Suns and how they've handled his minutes, they've been really doing a good job at limiting his workload. Chris Paul has played in less than 28 minutes in 3 of the last 4 games. So I do have questions on if he's actually going to have enough minutes to get enough shot attempts up in order to actually go over this total. But I expect him to play probably somewhere between 25 and 28 in this game, unless it turns into an absolute blowout, and he might play even less. But if you look at his efficiency numbers, he has struggled as well. Chris Paul, we all know, is a very efficient player. He's a very solid mid-range jump shooter, very solid free throw shooter, and yet that has really not been the case in the playoffs. So far in the postseason, he is shooting just 39% from the floor, just 26.7% from 3, and just 60% from the foul line, which is pretty telling that Chris Paul's shoulder is definitely not right, and he has definitely struggled with his shooting form since the injury issue started. But you also want to look at Paul's point totals. 14.5 really doesn't make much sense. He had 18 in Game 4, which was the one game he was healthy for. All the other games, 9, 7, 6, and 7. And now he's in his shoulder issue once again. 14.5 doesn't really make any sense. I'd be shocked if he gets past 13. He might only finish with single digits again. And if you look at Chris Paul, in addition to the inefficient shooting, he also has really not been hunting for a shot too much. He's only attempting 9 shots per game in the series, and there is a pretty big outlier because he attempted 15 in Game 4. Every other game in the series, he has attempted 9, 8, 5, and 8. So he really has not been hunting for a shot too much, mostly been a distributor, and I think you will see him embrace that role once again. I think you will see him struggle shooting the ball. I think you'll see him probably attempt maybe 7 shots or so. Schroeder might have been awful offensively last game, but he has been very solid defensively in the series, and it seems like Paul has really struggled to create separation with him on him. So, with all things being considered, Paul is still injured. He's been very inefficient in the series. He also has had a minute restriction, or it appears he's had a minute restriction, and I think you'll see him struggle once again offensively in Game 6. The play that I once again here for Thursday, June 3rd, is going to be on Chris Paul under 14.5 points at -114 on Bet Online. Bye, everyone.